been eliminating unnecessary subsidiaries, but the focus on resolution undoubtedly has accelerated that effort. And I think we got rid of roughly 300 of them over the last 12 months. At the same time, this issue of the number of subsidiaries needs to be put in perspective. First, if a Title I or Title II single point of entry works, and I like Paul Tucker, believe that it does work, the operating as well as the key service and operational subsidiaries of the institution will not fail. So it doesn't matter if there are a lot of them or a few of them. Secondly, for us, and I believe it would also be true for other large institutions, the number of material legal entities, which is a defined term for resolution purposes, is quite small. Again, this is public information in the public portion of our plan. It's a small number of entities, although obviously it covers an extremely high percentage of our assets and activities. At Citi, we have just 26 material legal entities. And of the, pick your number, several thousand of our total subsidiaries. So those are some of the things that resolution drive you toward in restructuring. Very quickly, I just add a couple of things about what Basel III and the stress tests drive you toward. There's no question that Basel III, the leverage ratio, and stress testing all drive you to reduce the number of assets you hold. They drive you to be smaller. They're partially designed to drive you to be smaller. I think many regulators have been relatively candid about that. They drive you particularly not to hold assets which have very high risk weights and whether or not you think they're risky. The classic example of this, and we and others have taken many steps to dispose of these assets, are minority positions in other financial institutions. We had a number of minority positions in financial institutions around the world for a variety of long-term strategic reasons. And if we haven't gotten rid of all of them, I can't remember one we still have. We couldn't say it's possible, not possible that there's still one we haven't gotten rid of, but we went on an effort because of the very high risk weightings that these minority positions get. Another example would be assets that the stress test punishes. I won't go into all the details here. It's very hard to tell exactly what assets the stress test punish because you don't have access to the way the Fed does the models that the Fed uses for the stress test, but you can make some reasoned guesses, and when you can make those reasoned guesses, you have an incentive to eliminate those assets from your balance sheet. And then finally, I would just mention quickly the activity limitations that are in Dodd-Frank. They also have restructuring issues associated with them, the most obvious one being the Volcker rule. And the president says we'll get a Volcker rule by the end of the year. Rick knows better whether that's accurate or not, but he won't say. And